So now let's talk about a man who is definitely disrupting the idea of networking. He is the president and CEO of Next Events. Welcome, Michael Schneider.
Thanks for having me, Charlene and David.
So what is Next Events?
Well, it's a great segue because I do consider myself a disruptor, and I think a lot of people in the industry would.
You're going to throw up your hands on the stage, disruptor die?
I think he's staying there.
You're saying sacrificing resources. Does that mean as a startup I should not pay myself anything?
Well, no, I don't think it's so much that, but I think it's more saying, I'm going to figure out what's going to come next, as you are saying, and then I'm going to make that decision today to invest those resources.
Got it.
Hopefully you're paying yourself something along the way.
Yeah, you have to be able to buy chickpeas, for example.
So how did you get the idea of putting networking on a cruise ship? I have to say that's a stellar idea.
Yeah, well, I had done one of these events with my former company, which was called Boutique Design. We had an event called Hospitality Match, and we were like everybody else. We were doing land-based events, sort of these speed
land-based events,
as opposed to being on the ship.
And they're very successful just by the simple fact that they're sort of like speed dating, putting together manufacturers of interior furnishings for hotels and designers. So you got a tabletop, and it was a 20-minute meeting, and it's very effective. But there's a lot of these in the industry right now. So I was figuring out what's the next thing. What's going to make the biggest difference for the people that participate in these types of events? And it's like everybody's forgetting about cruise. The cruise is a big part of the hospitality industry. It's a burgeoning area.
Well, you know who you're sitting with, right?
Yeah,
Someone who's been on many, many, many cruises.
Oh, yeah, is that
I
so?
Probably have still been on more than you.
Probably.
Yeah, I've been on 35, and I am the shame
35.
of my family. My parents are nearing 100. So my aunt worked for Royal Caribbean in my childhood, so I spent my entire childhood on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great venue, and also because of the simple fact that you can't go anywhere, you're going to be networking with all the people on the cruise.
I met a lot of friends growing up off of cruise ships, yeah, and places that I would have never otherwise interacted with. I have a friend from Central Pennsylvania. How would a kid from Florida meet a girl from Central Pennsylvania unless they were on a cruise ship?
There you go.
So you don't have to sell me on the business model. But for those who are not familiar with cruise ship culture, besides the whole isolation thing, why else was a cruise ship a good venue for them?
They're a tremendous value. So a cruise, as you know, is like a floating city. And there are so many things they could do. It's like perfect antidote to attention deficit disorder. If you want to go see a show, you go see a show. You want any kind of food you can think of, and it's all included. So it's really a great venue in terms of the value. And as far as putting together people in business-to-business events, it enables me to provide value to my customers because these events are getting very expensive. The land-based events, they're also only 2 days. So when you have a 2-day event, you're going there, you're working really hard, you never really get a chance to enjoy the venue. Whereas this cruise is 5 days, 4 nights, and I'm charging even less than my competitor. So you get really more relationship time with your customer, and that's the key component. And the customer now, the designers and these purchasing and hotel owners and operators, the feedback I got with these land-based events is that they'll go there, work really, really hard, and never get a chance to enjoy it. So that's kind of where the aha moment I had was, let's get them on a cruise and make sure they have plenty of time to enjoy themselves.
So besides being a fun trip, what kind of significant deals have come out of these cruises, out of these events?
Well, this is our first cruise under Next Events, but I can tell you I've tremendous anecdotal information from the previous events that I've done with my old company, 6-figure deals. It brings you that much closer to your customer. The alternative to these sort of matchmaking type of events is our trade shows. And I produced a trade show in my old company. It's one of the most popular shows in the industry called BDNY. But, they're scanning your badge. They're speaking to you for 2 minutes, and they're seeing hundreds of people. So it's very hard to remember that interaction you have with that exhibitor. Whereas with these sort of speed dating events, it brings it down to more of a human level, and it's a limited amount of people that are going to be there. And they're going to remember you, if not from the meeting that they had at your tabletop, maybe it's the meal they had with you, the activity that they did, and just it really is helpful when you get back in the office and you follow up with that person.
Okay, so tell us about the entrepreneurial journey. So how do you get involved in events? I mean, it seems like something that when you were a little kid, did you think, I want to have events on cruise ships when I grow up?
No, I never thought that. I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 13, but my first business was like babysitting and errand running. So it was not thinking.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah. I started working with my father. He was a very niche publisher, and any entrepreneur that has a family member come into their business often wants to give them something they can call their own. And his publication was going to this hospitality show, and that was it for me. I knew that was the business I wanted to be involved in, and I had more interest in putting together people. and providing an interesting venue, sort of being like a host and making these connections. I got a lot of,
So
satisfaction.
are you the MC as well?
Oftentimes I am the MC. The first event actually I did a little bit of everything. I was running around like a chicken with their head cut off. I was doing AV. I was doing MC. I was speaking.
We're very MC, the three of us, aren't we? Yeah, we have
Got
that in
those
common.
voices.
Yeah, we have those voices, those booming voices.
Yeah, but that was my favorite part of the business was producing the events.
And
So-
we're
Go ahead,
going to
Michelle.
take it from here. We have the cruise coming. Are
Yeah.
you going to be expanding to more boats? Are you going to do other type of venues?
It's a ship, Charlie.
I'm sorry.
My
Don't do
aunt
cruises.
would kill me if I didn't. Being a child of Royal Caribbean, that is
We
a
will
ship.
call them ships.
They're
So do you
ship.
see yourself having more ships on this? Are you going to take other types of new venues, more fun venues?
Yeah.
Because, like, how do you keep
Well, we
expanding
do have
this?
another event. It's called Grounded by Design. It's at Mohawk Mountain House in upstate New York, and that's about sustainability and wellness. So that's going to be a really nice event. As far as the cruises are concerned, we're limited with the space that they give you to do the business. So I think we either have to do 2 cruises, like an East Coast, West Coast thing, or what I think is going to be the better way to go is to charter a ship. Because then you'd be a real big baller if you can charter a
And
ship.
there are a lot of different types of businesses, mostly with affinity groups,
Yeah.
that charter ships all the time.
Exactly. I mean, I can't charter a Royal Caribbean ship. That's just huge.
No, but there's a lot of smaller cruise lines.
Absolutely.
Inevitably, you'll be in Florida because they're all based in
They
Florida.
seem to be, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Well, Carnival and Royal Caribbean are the 2 big ones.
Yeah,
So.
and Royal does a great job with business events. It's I don't understand why more cruise lines don't target the business side of getting business conferences and events on cruise ships, but it's a
Well, my aunt's friend is the assistant to the CEO of Royal Caribbean, so
There you
maybe
go.
I'll send her a clip. So, well, anyway, Michael, thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.